when you have a mad sock collection.
I'm dead.
I feel like you. I'll be honest with you. I've stolen many of your socks. I got a few here.
That's
I ain't gonna lie.
crazy.
I'm not gonna sit here and deny it. Do you know what I mean? Welcome to Out of Office with Kim. I am your host, Kim, all the way from sunny southeast London. We've got a very, very special guest in the house today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is gumbani.
And we are here to have a good time. When I start my shows, I like to talk about how I know the guest. Now, some people I do know well, some people I don't know well. How do we know each other?
You answer that?
We share the womb, everybody. We are brother and sister, as in same mom, same dad, live together, grow together, living together. Would you like to explain our accent different? Because people who are listening in are going to be a bit confused.
I don't know. I feel like should actual genuine answer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that because you came here when you was a child, I would feel like you really developed your own. You weren't really, you know what I mean? You were still kind of finding yourself. That's
I would say I too had an accent, but because I was younger, I just assimilated more to the kids in the playgrounds. Exactly. I just quickly picked up the English accent. Also, young kids are cruel. They were teasing me. That's
kind of what I mean. I feel like, you were what, 5?
7.
Multiple age. So, at that age, you know what I mean? We're kind of still
like a sponge. So that is it. Obviously, when people meet us now, they're like, how's that your brother? And I'm like, oh my gosh, just look at us. Then they take a minute and they go, actually, I see it.
Yeah.
So, to kick off the show, we're out of office, right? This show is all about careers, but we're out of the office. So we have to start with an icebreaker question, right? With an interview question, so to speak. My question to you, Goya, if you could be a candle smell, what smell would you be?
I
feel like you like the oody smells.
I was going to say like a oud or like an Egyptian musk, or I would be Nag Champa.
What is that? What is that? Can you describe that?
That's an incense. Like, it's literally like one of the most popular incenses that it's in everyone's house. But it's one particular scent and it smells good. A little background. There's a song by one of my favorite artists, Jay Dilla and Common and Slum Village.
Yeah.
It's called Nag Champa because they were burning that while they were in this session.
Okay. And that inspired the name of the song.
Yeah, so that inspired the name of the song. As I've, grown up around incense and whatever, I've just come to gravitate towards that smell. And then as I've gotten older, I was like, oh, wow, this was also part of some of my favorite people's lives too. So
I'll be honest, usually when I ask this question, the answers aren't that deep. So well done. That was really, you really went on a journey there.
Really?
We're going to talk a little bit about your influences a little bit later, but to start off, I think we need to break down your name, Goya. Where does it come from? What is the origin?
The origin of Goya is pretty much when I came up with the name Goya, I was a little bit homesick.
Of which home?
My only home. My home.
Some people have different homes.
Home, Brooklyn, New York, New York.
You need to be specific.
I feel like, in case you don't know, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So is she. Yeah. You might not be able to tell.
I've got a different accent. We obviously have covered it at the beginning.
Well, I'm just circling back, guys. I'm from Brooklyn, so my accent is going to kind of give you a little bit of that. So when I'm referring to home, I'll always be referring to Brooklyn.
Okay.
So at the time, I was probably 21. I was a little homesick. I hadn't been back to New York for a couple of years. And I think I had another rap name at the time, but it wasn't really a rap name. I was kind of figuring out the rap name. And one thing I just always remembered from my childhood was we had Goya beans in the cupboard.
Yeah.
My mom used to work a double. My mom used to work all the time. So our older siblings, we had older sisters. three of our older sisters at the time used to do a lot of the cooking for us because my mom and pops wasn't really on home. And, you know, like as like a kid, you're like, like I just want like crisp and like chocolate and like rice pudding and these like really, really sweet things. But like in our house, we just had like proper food.
The thing is, I don't remember. My memories aren't of the proper food. My memories is of the nonsense, like Twinkies and stuff like that. That's what I've held on to from my memories.
That's because you was 5.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you was
exactly. That's what I remember. I remember things like soup and stuff. I remember not liking that at all. But when we first moved here, the biggest difference I noticed was like the quality of candy, stuff like that. It wasn't the same here.
Yeah, fact.
At all.
Cereal. Especially cereal.
Cereal
kind of broke me a little bit because I was like, I don't know, I feel like people were eating Weetabix. I was like, yo, that don't even look good. It don't look good. It don't, like the consistency of it, like, anyway.
So Goya.
So the name Goya came from, I was pretty much homesick. I kind of went back into my mind and was like, oh my God, like what reminds me of like home? And what reminded me of home was
the Goya beans.
The Goya.
Yeah.
The Goya beans. And then a little bit more context to that. My cousin, Amari, our cousin.
And this is an hour show today.
Our cousin.
This is hour.
I'm not used to that. His mom, we used to live together in Brixton. His mom's was like one day, like, oh, I got some like groceries for y'all, like. And it was just like, it was just regular groceries, but it was like name brands I hadn't ever seen before. And what she gave us at the time was this big oil.
Okay.
It was manufactured from Goya.
Oh.
So that then it just kind of played in my mind. I was like, oh wait, Goya. I was like, oh man. And it just reminded me of my sisters, reminded me of Canarsie, reminded me of like how we used to play outside and just the things that we used to do. So that's where the name Goya came from.
Where's the gumbani bit come?
Gumbani came, I was just feeling myself, I think, one day. And I think I was rhyming.
With? What rhymes with gumbani?
No, I was just writing a verse. And I think gumbani just came out. And I was like, yeah, I think it should be a tool because it was just Goya at first. And I was like, nah, it was a little confusing because Goya, the actual company, had already anytime you type Goya in online,
that's what was coming up.
Their stuff was coming up. So I was like, you know what, let me add something to the end of that to just make it my own. But,
okay. And now we're here.
Deep.
All right. Let's talk about your sound, right? Because I feel like you obviously, as you said, as we all know, you're from New York, Brooklyn. Your sound, I feel like there's a little bit of some mixes in there. I think there's some sly South London influences. Right. So firstly, for someone that's never listened to you, how would you just describe your sound? Just like off the cuff. Rap? We'll start there.
I say it's a combination of hip hop and jazz.
Yeah, I was going to say there's some jazzy vibes.
You know, with little fills of like neo soul. Pretty much just black music.
Love that.
I feel like that's how you would.
And if you listen to our intro music of the show, it is one of your tracks.
Word.
Yeah. So you know, just if everyone likes that vibe, this is what we're going for. So talk to me a little bit about the South London part, because obviously your actual voice, sound wise, New York, you can't miss your accent. That's why ours is so starkly contrasting. So yeah, where are your South London influences? What inspires you about South?
For real, that's the only place that we lived.
Yeah.
When we moved here, I've never lived anywhere other than South. I've made little trips to, I've stayed a couple nights in East or whatever. But I feel like certain areas of South just remind me of New York.
Really? Like what areas specifically?
Think like when I was living in Brixton, Brixton at a certain time, I don't mean the commuters hours, nor the partying hours, but
In
like
the day.
the actual daytime,
Yeah.
just like the local residents, it kind of gave me that feel. Gave me a feel like Flatbush Ave or like Utica Ave, just like just a mixed bag of like people. Like it's so multicultural. Like beyond that, you can actually get like cultural,
properties,
actual cultural stuff like hair products, skin products, food, saltfish, like just little things like that.
But there's also massive Caribbean population, right, in Brixton.
So that's the thing. Like I feel like the West Indian influence in the UK is so massive. Like it's like so hard to miss. So I feel like to answer your question, yeah, it was just kind of one of the things where I felt like when we first moved here, it was a little weird. I was like, yo, what's good? Like I didn't even know black people lived here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
And
okay.
I think that's because of how media portrayed the UK.
For real?
On like the news and stuff, because back then it wasn't even internet. It was internet, but it wasn't internet.
My growing up in my experience of Britain, right, from mum, was her watching EastEnders. So I just thought that's what the UK was like, EastEnders.
And then when you think about that, like the episode she was watching was 10 years old. They weren't even current. Like they weren't even current. So to even think like, which is funny because I think EastEnders is it kind of gives you a little bit of a current climate of a side of London. It kind of does a little bit.
It's representative of the area that it speaks to you. It doesn't give you a glimpse of like true London. Well, true London is subjective.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it gives me a feel of when I think of the people from Hackney, like the actual true
people,
like Pops' homies and stuff that's actually from there, like that lived there, born, raised there, like. They still give me that, like, wow.
East End.
They still give me that EastEnders. That East End, like, you know, like, just hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Just like common folk just trying to, you know what I mean?
Everyday
everyday hustle and bustle. But, yeah, I feel like parts of... Damn, I lost a question. Keep me on track.
Right, let's talk a little bit about inspirations, right? In music. We never grew up listening to what did I think about growing up?
Yeah, what did you listen to? I'm a little curious.
Well, my biggest memories was like, when I got a bit older, when we moved here, listen, like sitting in mum's car, it's like Lovers Rock. That's my Lovers Rock, never bashment.
Well,
Schooled up reggae, yeah, Sizzler, Sanchez, all them.
Fair.
Younger, my memory is just like the music that we listen to. And also B2K, not you.
Right.
I think B2K, Bow Wow, those current people. And that's my memory of music then. But like music that came from America. Then when we moved here, it got a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie. When we moved here, let me get to that. But before, remember when we used to watch 106 in Park?
Yeah.
Like literally.
That's what I mean. Like music from that's the music I remember.
Which is funny because moms used to listen to a lot of, I ain't gonna lie, you know what mom listened to back in the day? Lauryn Hill. She listened to a lot of Neo song back then.
That's what I'm from Jaheim.
You remember it?
You're right.
You remember him? Yeah. So that's kind of why I was curious. I was like, damn, I wonder what it was like from your like from where you was, like what did it sound like? What was you hearing? What was you listening to from your perspective? But I do remember like watching a lot of 106 Park, watching a lot of BET, watching a lot of music video TV.
Watching music videos on the TV, like MTV Base, that was normal. We changed.
So boom. Because remember, when we got introduced to bass, I was confused. But just to take you back, do you remember when the TV was broke? We used to have to stick the knife in it.
Yeah, that's normal.
To like turn it on.
Yeah, that's normal stuff.
I miss some things.
Remember stuff.
Now we got TV remotes. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I remember, which I think is funny. Do you remember when we used to have one TV obviously between us? Do you remember when someone would leave and you'd cover the receiver so you couldn't change? I know. Because like everyone wanted to watch their own things, right? The thing is, you don't want to go tweet, you know? Because they're going to change.
Facts, you don't know. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me get back to that. MTV Base was weird. I feel like when I moved to the UK, they were making a lot of edits. Music was a lot faster here. I don't know if you noticed that, but R&B, rap, neo soul. Then we came here and we had the people like Lamar. Remember like Lamar? And like yeah, I know if you actually
post. R&B is different here though. That's why. It's very different.
It took me a while to warm up to it.
And I feel like as well, when we moved here, I feel like in the UK at that time, like channels like Channel U was big.
That was a fire channel, but at the time I hated that channel.
Channel U, they changed to Channel AK.
Channel AK, yeah.
I hate that channel as well. But
I used to hate it, but when I got older, I realized the importance of what that channel was because it put me onto grime. It made me understand UK music and like the foundation of it, not the stuff on the radio, but like grime, garage, jungle.
Being introduced to garage.
How were you introduced?
Car and Sheree.
All right, Bob. It gave me...
Our cousins, by the way. Those are our cousins.
These are our like older cousins. Like, they gave me a garage CD.
Yeah, okay.
And for like 3-4 years, I never listened to it. I didn't start listening to garage till I started going out clubbing until I was 18.
Wow, garage was big.
I didn't really...
Even in school, obviously I'm, a couple years below. So maybe up later. I'm not way younger. Everyone just calm down with the numbers. Not way younger. I'm an adult, everybody. Thank you very much.
No, yeah, but I mean, at the time, like...
one of the first CDs Cara ever played when we moved here was Amy Winehouse Frank.
Fire.
That's when I was like, what, music in the UK?
Yeah, fire.
Because obviously, we know, but everyone is a different breed. She's got mixes in there that other people can't quite get to sometimes, right? Yeah. That was my introduction to UK music. But then it was also things like S Club 7, which I couldn't quite get my head around.
They were English?
Yes, S Club 7. Very English, but it's like young. So for the younger...
I hated them.
The fashion. We're like S Club 7, Libby X.
I wasn't rocking.
There was another one. I can't remember that. I just feel like bands, right? Were so different from like NSYNC.
Exactly, and that's what I came from.
To S Club 7.
That's what I came from.
It was just a bit like I just wasn't really sure about the sound here at the time. Now I appreciate the sound for things like garage, grime. Yeah, I understand it now. But when we first got here, I was like, to be honest with everything, I was like, what's going on with me?
Yeah, I hated grime. I was like, yo, it's too fast. Everything was really fast. I wasn't used to BPMs over 890. Wasn't used to anything over 90. And then I feel like here I was more introduced to like edits from back in the day. So like all of our favorite rap songs or like R&B songs, they'll like have an edit. But our head will be pushing the edit. And I was like, yo, I just want to hear my song. I just want to hear the song I know. The way I know it. You know what I'm saying?
Everything's sped up, I hear it. Then, how did you find it like to have your sound in the UK space? In many ways, it's a niche, obviously, nobody else sounds like you.
Fine.
But like, did that come with its own herd? Like, was it hard? Because like, where do you fit? Do you know what I mean? At first, it's like, when people think of UK rap, a UK rapper, they think of grime immediately. They don't think of any...
Or drill.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Wow.
Drill now.
Or drill now, yeah. Did you find it difficult to navigate that space and like solidify yourself there?
Not really. Not really. I felt like, I always felt like the music I wanted to make wasn't like...
Yeah.
Not even it wasn't here, because it is here. It's just no one is from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's doing it. But I don't know. I feel like
you didn't struggle?
No, really. I feel like I was just practicing, just doing me practicing. I feel like it just at like in the beginning, I was probably a little bit like, man, I was just trying to find it, trying to figure it out. I think that's the hardest part, is like figuring out what you want to make or what you want to say and how you want to say it.
It's hard though when there are so many boxes. I feel like in the creative industry, like in the UK, there are boxes, and you need to go in. You don't need to go in necessarily just one, but you need to. Then you know what I mean. You can't really move outside of that. I feel like it's difficult when people want to change a sphere. So that's why I ask you that, because your sound isn't comparable to anyone else here. But when you get booked for lineups, for example, is it more like a jazzy?
Nice. So how I patterned it up like was pretty much I could play a solo rap set with just me and my SP. It was like a little box unit, which has more of a hip hop feel, has more of a just traditional rap. Yeah. I've also got a band. So
Talk to us about your band.
Naturally with like the band, like the music just sounds live. It doesn't, even if it is a hip hop song, because you actually are dealing with the live instrumentation. The music just sounds that it does. Like if you know, like for instance, drums or like guitar. Like you might sample a guitar, but when someone's actually playing that guitar with feel, and you know, it's a lot more personal. It's a lot more personal because it's down to the moment. Like literally how you touch the string that moment. Whereas when it's a playback, it's already been perfected, you know what I mean? So the band, I've kind of just opened it up where I can do both. But yeah, you're right. They do try to box you in. That's why I had to like do that, because at first I didn't have the band and I wasn't really getting put on any jazz billing. Then I made a jazz album. I was like, I want to incorporate the band. I want to expand that. So I just did that constantly for like a year. And then everyone kind of knew me for the band. But then it got to a point where I got boxed in again. Yeah. And it was just band shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just you. And honestly, I think the industry wants us to feel like we need to be in boxes and we need to do it in a certain way. But I think there's no rules to it.
Facts.
Just do it your way. And if you're happy at the end of it, that's what I like. So I kind of try to put it that way. But, you know, I even like the question you asked earlier about like, how would you define your like sound? It's kind of hard.
Yes.
I
wouldn't be able to describe it.
It's hard
to someone.
It's very, very hard.
If someone said, "Okay, what kind of music does your brother make?" People ask me this all the time, and I'm like, rap, jazzy, like it's just very lovely. Then I'm like, you can chill to it, you can vibe to like. It's not the same as me. Like it's not the same as me just being like, it's grime,
and I think
grime. You know,
that's what I love more, when you can describe the vibe.
Because
I think
right.
Lead
it's
with that.
Vibe.
We should lead more with that,
as opposed to the genre.
Yeah, because I feel like at the end of the day, like it's like, for instance, I like Teddy Riley. Literally, you remember Bobby Brown, and kind of, and like all of those when like that kind of music was coming out. I forgot what he called it, but he pretty much was producing all of that music. And at the time they were trying to like box it into like R&B. Yeah. But it wasn't. It was a little bit more up tempo. It had a lot more rhythm.
Similar to Neo Soul though, right? When it first came, there wasn't a name for it.
Well, Neo Soul, you know who actually labeled that? It was D'Angelo and Erykah Badu. They actually was like, nah, this is not R&B, because they tried to name it R&B.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they were like, nah.
Obviously, there are influences, but Neo Soul, you know when Neo Soul is Neo Soul.
And then why the element of soul comes into it is because that is who D'Angelo was listening to a lot of at the time. Like, obviously, he came out of the like church, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, and at that time, soul music was it. So, you know, it was like it was just creating something new. So I feel like
hybrid.
That's kind of what it is for me. Like, it's like, I only say jazz rap because I feel like people will understand that. I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to be going into depth about what my music sounds like, because the reality of it is like, I'm just in my bedroom, just
Doing your thing.
just literally like expressing, not even like, yeah, we're about to make a song, but it's like, nah, like, what's on my mind right now?
Mm-hmm. So it's all about vibe, creating things that mean something. I want to talk about your style, because I feel like you're very well known for the way that you dress. And I will say, as your little sister, and I'll only say this once, and I'll only say this
dead. I'm dead.
You did inspire. You inspired me.
Save it, check.
You did inspire me. I'm not going to sit here and deny it, right? I'll be honest. I feel like one day I just looked at the way you were dressing, and I was like, "You're cool."
Word.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's my gang. That's gang.
When you used to wear, like, when we came fresh to America and everything you wore was just baggy, yeah? I still rocked with it then. I thought, this is sick. This is cool. But then one day you just found your lane. You just found your lane, and you didn't dress like anyone else in the UK, right? Because I feel like when you grow up in London, you do dress at your bedrooms. Everyone does. It's very normal. You went off on a whole different thing, and the way you dressed inspired me, because it showed me that, like, you can just be who you want to be, and you don't have to be like other people. So I would like to know, do you remember the turning point of when you started to dress differently?
Yeah, like, I feel like when we was growing up, like, I used to get in trouble in school all the time. So my moms and pops, like, used to never buy, like, they didn't really buy me clothes. Like, they probably brought you, like,
you were a bit naughty.
Not even that. Like, it's just, I feel like, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. School, whatever, we get into that. But, I just feel like, I never really, I didn't really have, like, the clothes I wanted growing up. Like, I always wanted babe stills. I always wanted, like, I remember one time, like, our mom and pops went to Arizona. Do you remember that?
That rings a little bell.
We went to Arizona, like, before we moved here, they went to Arizona, and my mom was like, let's go to Arizona for a couple. I'm like, yo, like, pops, please buy me some, like, shoes, buy me some bases. And then he like, all right, comes back. He like, yeah, I got some for you in the suitcase. Went in the suitcase, some stupid ass red Nike, like, it was like, and which is crazy. It was like a football sneaker. It was like a AstroTurf sneaker.
Yeah.
But in New York, no one kicks ball.
Yeah, no kicks ball.
So I'm looking at him like, yo, what's these sneakers? Like, you
to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, what pretty much what I had was, I just started going out. When I got my first job, I just remember I used to buy, like, New Era hats and these, like, Nike hoodies. This is the time when snapbacks came.
Yeah.
Remember when snapback?
I had a Chicago Bulls ones, I think.
Like, at the time I was trying to get a snapback, it was so hard to find snapbacks. This was like when Tiger. But yeah, so I was kind of into that. And then I pretty much was just like, I was into sneakers, and then the sneaker market just got crazy. It was hard to get a pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I'm gonna start wearing shoes. That's how
I remember that was like a big shift.
Yeah.
You stopped wearing trainer sneakers and you started wearing shoes. When you first was wearing shoe, I was like, I was thinking, what's going on?
Facts.
Why are you always wearing shoes?
No, what it was. It just took time to figure out how to style the shoe. But what happened was, I was working pretty much. I used to do construction when I was younger. Then after construction, I pretty much had an accident, and I was like, yo, let me try and start selling clothes. So I started working at Bape. Always loved Bape. Could never afford it. Ended up getting uniform. I was like, oh my God, you get free uniform. What the fuck's going on? I bet. Boom. BBC. Then I started working at Billionaire Boys Club. Then I pretty much went to another store, which was more of a menswear. It was like Japanese. It was more. It was called Present. It's called Present.
Yeah.
Present closed now. But it was like, that was like the store that did it for me, because I was getting uniform allowance, so I didn't have to spend that much for, like, the clothes, and the quality of everything was beautiful.
Very good.
I started working with people that really appreciated fabricing, like, clothes. So going from streetwear to that store made me feel like I didn't want to dress like I was wearing streetwear stuff anymore. I was like, they sell loafers in here, which is funny, because I got my first pair of loafers from BBC. pretty much the guy that worked at, there was a guy I worked with in Present that started a loafer brand called Horatio. So I always wear Horatio shoes now, up until this day. I'm wearing Horatio shoes today.
Oh.
So
I didn't even know that. Okay.
We were selling that in like our sistering BBC store.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting a pair there. So I kind of started wearing them a little bit there. Then I made the shift to that store. The guy that started that brand worked in that store.
Okay.
So I started seeing pretty much when he was developing all of the colorways and every single sample size fit me. So I was just like, yo, this color, that color, that color, that color, that color. And I wasn't wearing them, but I knew that I was just trying to figure out how am I going to get my style like from here to there. So I kind of was just, was just really into, like at the time, nobody was wearing loafers.
Nobody. It's mad because now everybody has a pair of loafers. Even me, I bought a pair of loafers last year. I mean, I did get my first pair last year. That was after speaking. Amari helped me.
Right?
Yeah, look at some different loafers.
Welcome to the game.
But it's just mad that you changed. What you're saying there, that you had a collection basically, and you knew you wanted to wear them, but you wasn't sure how. That's interesting because there's a lot of people that want to change their style. Yeah. For example, me, I went for a thing where I was like, I don't like what I'm wearing, but I don't know where I'm going yet. So then I would try to buy things I thought looked nice on other people and wait for the time where I feel like I could style it. So it's really interesting that you had that journey with the shoe. Now you wear loafer but you're pivoting back. I haven't seen you wearing a couple Adidas trainer. I've been seeing.
Like I do appreciate the silhouette of a sandal. I just like vintage looking, like vintage sneakers. So that's kind of why I gravitated towards the Zamba. But I used to work with this guy named Jack, older guy. He was 70, but one of the most stylish guys.
Sick hat.
Yeah. Always had a nice hat on. The most stylish guy on the street. And there was a lot of retail stores on that street. So to be the most, him, literally. And he used to say to me, he used to try something on that, like something would like come in. We'll go downstairs, try it on, come upstairs and be like, yo, what does everybody think about it? Everybody be like, yeah, lit. And he'd be like, nah, I'm not getting it.
Because he doesn't want.
He's literally like, if people don't like it, then you're doing the right thing. And that was kind of wild where I was like, okay, well, what he was really saying to me was that, yo, get dressed for you.
100%.
Get dressed for you. Like, don't get dressed to, try and impress this person. Just get dressed for you and you'll never go like wrong. And honestly, when I put on most of my outfits, 5 minutes before I walk out the door, I'll probably say to myself, this is a little wild. Like, really, you about to do it? And then over time, I'm like, no, you know what?
Just got comfortable
it's me.
with it.
It's me, you know what I mean? So, like,
that's how we got here.
Yeah, and like something for me now, like I wear my size. I feel like something
interesting. You went, as I said before, everything he's wearing was bigger.
It was bigger.
Big, which also though was also in fashion. It wasn't Germany, it was in fashion. But now you wear things that fit you, which is good because it also fits me. So when I want to wear it, it works.
It's crazy because I started when we first moved here. I went to school in a 4XL white polo.
That's absolutely.
And everyone in school was looking at me like, and even in my mind, I'm like, yo, I was smaller than I am now. Wearing that big teeth, little face. Like,
you did grow your teeth.
You know what I'm saying?
Good for you.
So did you, though.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're talking about how you're looking visuals, right? I feel like visual is a big thing for you. So we spoke about how you care about how much you present yourself, right? You've gone to your bit, you know what you like. I feel like when I watch some of your visuals, your videos, for example, I can tell there's been a lot of work put in. People make videos, right? Some say there's a lost art in video making. Also maybe because people don't watch music videos the way they used to. You only watch a music video now, I feel like, for me, if I'm really interested in the artist. I'm not just going to put music videos on. So is there a bit of a process for you? Like, do you think you have the song and you envision, I want the video to look like X? What is usually the vibe?
It's a combination. Like, I don't know. I feel like What I feel like it's crazy because the videos I used to put out before, I don't feel like they're really strong, but
Really?
people would beg to differ. You know what I mean? So,
I disagree with that.
yeah, no, and don't get me wrong, like my videos, the videos, and the team that I work with on the videos normally like go in. They go in. It's like a trusted team normally. Sometimes I might think of the concept, or sometimes I trust people that be like, yo, look, this is the mood of the song. Let's try and do something. In the last, I think I got maybe like 10 videos out or something like that. Like the last maybe 6, I've kind of been like really like driving the like force line, just because at the time, like you're saying about the lost art of music videos, I felt like with this music shit, you really gotta put 100% into every part of it.
100%.
So like, there was a time when I was just like, damn, like making the music was everything.
Everything, yeah.
And then now I'm at the point where I'm like, nah, like it's everything around the music that now has to be even more thought of than the music. You know?
Even like, for example, your album covers, right? Some of them are. I'm thinking about. I can't remember. You're like a little cartoon in the spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
What was the thought there? Because we do love the cartoons.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. An inspiration at all?
Yeah, definitely. Animation. You know, I still watch cartoons. I still watch animation.
Always.
But
you need some oil on that little WD-40,
right? Sorry, what?
Music videos, creation, cartoons.
Right. So that specific one, that cover, I did the collaboration with Joel and Jones, keyboard player from, I don't think he's from London, but he's based in South London, Heather Greenwood, part of Ezra Collective and all that stuff. But his theme, he has a constant theme for all of his artworks. They're all animated. So we came together on that. We were going to keep it animated because that's his vibe anyway. But the guy that drew it is a guy named Barry. And yeah, you know, me and Joe just sat down and was like, because that spaceship, that art, that cover is meant to encapsulate kind of what was going on when we were making the song. So if you look, it's pretty much just a spaceship, which isn't a spaceship. The spaceship is actually a music studio. If you look into the spaceship, all you see is keyboards, a microphone.
Yeah, okay.
And it's pretty much Joe's studio in that spaceship. So what that is, it pretty much just represents just him pushing through this life, pushing through these streets, pushing through his everyday, but his safe space
is his studio.
Is his studio, is his spaceship. And, you know, as you look around, you know, you kind of see a little bit of everything. So
it is about the music, but what the song is, some of your album covers. I feel like I just lost my train of thought, but we're going to just keep going with it. Right, let's move on. I want to talk about modeling for you. I want to talk about modeling. I want to talk about how you got into it. And I think we'll talk about some of your highlights, because some of your highlights I've got to experience as your sister, right? Which is a different... People, listen, everybody will be happy for you, people that know you, but it's different when that's your big brother. When me and mum sometimes watched some of your things, some of your modeling stuff, is like... The pride, right? The proudness mum has for you and me is like
crazy.
Just blows. I remember sitting with mum watching when you walked to Louis Vuitton. You've never seen someone more proud than your mother. Which is interesting, because I think when you're growing up, right, and you're thinking about what will make your parents proud, you think of things like going to medical school or some random stuff. But luckily for us, mum, she's happy for us to be happy in any way that we can be successful. And I think that's probably helped you to grow in that way? Because it wasn't like you want to do music and it's not like mum's like, you need to go and become a doctor tomorrow.
Right.
So anyways, I went on a bit of a deep dive, a little bit of a retour to basically talk about how much I love you and how proud I am of you. Anyways, let's talk about...
That's fire, because I don't even be knowing that sometimes.
But that's why you have to come on the show for me to tell the truth. So anyways, modeling, where did it start? Did you ever see yourself?
Modeling, nah.
Going into modeling?
Modeling started. By the way, I just want to shout out moms, actually, because I told her pretty much, she was like, go and learn to like trade. And I like did that.
And you did?
I did that. And then after that, I was like, I don't want to do this. And I went and spoke. So I was like, yo, I really want to do music. And then I want to quit my job. And she backed it. She was like, yo, do it. She's like, if you want to quit your job, that's fine. You can move back home. And she really gave me that push. So I just feel like I just needed to like say that.
We need to talk about it because some people's parents don't allow for that. And I will say, with mum, even with the stuff I'm doing, mum's my biggest supporter. She's in every comment section. She's bigging me up to her friend. She's messaging me, you should do this TikTok. She's giving me ideas. Like
that's lit.
Because some people's parents want, like, the same with mum. She pushed me to go to university, but more so I always have something to fall back on, right? And I still went down that route. But when I wanted to start doing things that are more creative, she's a G. She's just an absolute G. She supported me, she supported you, even when we wasn't sure where you could go. And obviously now you're all over the you're all over the shop, you're all over the place.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it's you take for granted, I think, having a supportive network around you. I think sometimes it just is what it is. That's just mum, but what she has done for us, shout out every time.
Nah, every time. I wouldn't even
be
half of the person I am.
Patty cakes. You do.
Patty cakes, patty burger.
Right, let's not, she's going to get offended.
But so sorry, back to the modeling question. Pretty much how modeling started, pretty much when I was working the retail jobs, we used to shoot a lot of our like online stuff downstairs in the basement. So sometimes like, for the company to save money, they would just use the staff that work in the store, and they'd be like, yo, am I doing a little modeling, whatever. So that's kind of how my thing started. I used to just do it for the store I worked in. And then what happened was other stores in the area started seeing the like lookbooks and the like campaigns, but there were small ones I was doing for like, just like, I think I did one for like Garb store and like just like a couple different stores, and I was doing them Aries and whatever. And other people were seeing them that worked in other stores. They were like, "Oh, would you mind shooting for our?" And then that's kind of how that thing started like building. And then before I know it, I was just like kind of just making bread off for like just shooting like campaigns. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy because it was one thing like I was doing it for the company I was working for free.
Yeah.
Then I was like, wait, we make bread off of this? So like, things started happening that way. And then all for the strength of that, I just felt like because I like clothes and I like getting dressed, and I didn't feel like crazy in front of the like camera. I think that was also because of music, because I was shooting videos.
Yeah, it was comfortable.
So I was comfortable in front of the camera. So yeah, I think it kind of just fell into place. And then before I knew it, I just started getting mad, like more jobs.
Serious. I did touch on Louis Vuitton, but
yeah, Louis was fire. Like
that is very, 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 very serious.
Caught me off guard with that one. I was like, damn, like, nah, because for real, I didn't even really know like how big their production and stuff was. And for real, that was when Virgil was alive. So R.I.P. to Virgil. 100%. And he wasn't there, but he was on. They had him on like Zoom. So obviously when I like walked in the room, he like, they're like, yeah, put on your like fit, and then we're gonna take you to Virgil so he can give you the. I'm thinking Virgil's in the room. I go around, he's on the screen. I'm like, oh, Mr. Virgil, what's up? And he's like, yo, yeah, I've like listened to some of your like music.
What?
Yeah, he really said some. I'm like, yo. And I like, yo, thank you. I'm like, so thank you for bringing me out of Paris and all. And that was his last. I think he did one more show after that, and then he passed away. So yeah, Louis was on good. I've done some stuff with Xenia. I've done
Who did you work with most recently?
Oh, my bad. Okay, recent. I did. Pardon my French. Drool. Nah, it's Drool di Mezio. I definitely feel like
bilingual in this place.
Yeah, I'm butchering it a little bit. I did their recent Fashion Week catwalk, and I did LeBrum, which is a UK based brand from Sierra Leone heritage. Shout out my brother Folder. So I've done those two recently. It's been almost 10 years just modeling, like from baby scale to
the way we are now.
This scale.
Do you want to keep going with it?
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I do. I honestly, it's just easy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to
downplay it.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay it, but I also don't want to you know what I mean? Like, it's not music.
But don't you think all of these things add into your brand and who you are,
100%.
Multidisciplinary artist, as they say? It's not just that you make music, you also model, you also want to do things on the side, judge your incense.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more, hats. Hats. Because I wanted to talk to you about, do you, because you love clothes. So I feel like I can't imagine you never dipping your toe into designing.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was having this conversation recently. I have started. I have already started, but it's small. I'm not about to do it. Yes, I enjoy clothes that much, and I'm making my own merch. It's kind of going in that direction anyway. But
what would you like to design if you had to design? Because you did hats with Nicholas Daly.
Yeah,
the red and green.
I did the red, black, and green hat with Nicholas Daly for the last EP. That was fire. I was really happy with that. I've done the incense with a brand from London called Cremate. That came
in the kitchen.
With the EP. Have you burnt it?
I burnt one, but I'm very sensitive to incense smells.
Right.
That's why. So I just have to burn a little bit and then put it out. I can't burn it for the whole day.
Or you burn it when you leave. And then you come back. To it, and it should by then just,
I see you. Do you know what? When you have a mad sock collection.
I'm dead.
I feel like you. I'll be honest with you, I've stolen many of your socks. I got a few here. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you've got a mad sock collection, and I feel like you should be going into the sock world.
I am. I actually have designed a pair of socks.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a pair of socks going on.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Any other? I feel like accessories would be a good one for you, because I feel like maybe, I don't know if you want to do the full menswear, but I think accessories, hats, gloves. I feel like I'm gonna
at the moment. I'm just kind of gonna keep it small. I like accessories. I like accessories myself personally. So why I made the hat is because I love hats.
Same.
Why I make the socks because I love socks. But I also just collect everything. So that's why it's a little bit too much sometimes. I just looked at my sock collection and I'm like, bro,
you got too many socks.
About 2 feet.
Yeah, 100. How many socks do you say on average you have? Just give me a number.
80.
80. Sorry, I'm shouting. 80 socks.
80 socks.
80 socks.
I've got about 200 hats.
200 hats and one head.
One head. I ain't got space.
200 hats and one head. It's time to start opening up and start sharing.
I ain't even got space, bro.
What do you need 80 socks from 200 hats?
I feel like I give my family, by the way, y'all gets a lot of shit. Like my mom, literally, anytime I go to my mom, dripped.
Yeah, she's dripped.
Supreme in school. The kids is I was giving my granddad BBC. He's 90. People pulling him up on the beach in Jamaica.
He's 95, actually.
He's 95. Shout out my granddad, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm look, most of my jackets are from you. Yeah, most of the jackets I own belong to you. Yeah, you need to give them to me. But that doesn't mean you should ever stop that.
No.
Always continue to share with me, mostly. Tracksuits, To be fair, all the things I have in BBC, I learned about BBC through you.
Crazy.
And now when I went to BBC, people are like, what is that? I'm like, it's BBC.
I'm dead.
It's like, BBC.
Well, yo, relax.
What can people expect to kind of see from you? Come in. What you know? What? Q1's done. First quarter of the year's finished.
Q1 done.
What we got? What are we seeing for summer, winter, spring, summer?
Got an album coming out.
Okay. Can we tell through the names? It's a secret.
Yeah, the name's done. I've literally sent it off to get mastered.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, which is a really funny name. It's called Warlord of the Regions.
Like as in Legions the Loafer,
Yeah.
Warlord as in a warlord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of sick.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Oh, what is the album cover for that?
Wow.
You have to combine the Loafers and the Warlord. Come on.
It's actually kind of wild. I'm going to do a pop-up. And I'm pretty much trying to get a wall full of loafers. Just like
yeah, okay.
maybe 80 pairs just on the wall.
Alright.
But yeah,
Warlord.
Warlord of the Regions. Pretty much, honestly, that was a name that they gave to Miles Davis
Oh.
in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah, he got dubbed that name because he always was fly.
Yeah.
He always wore loafers.
Uh-huh.
And just a musical god. So, you know, those three things, somebody who was writing the Bible and then was like, yeah, the warlord of like the regions. Because you gotta understand as well, Miles Davis was also a little bit fiery. Like he was, you know what I mean? So like, not anyone could just pull up on him and ask him a question. He'll give you a fiery response. So I think that's kind of where I kind of went to, but I just wanted to kind of give praise because I've been listening to him for mad years. And,
we just, all right, when's that coming out?
maybe summer.
Summer, all right.
Summertime, so.
Anything else we should be keeping our eyes on the dashboard for?
Tour, there's gonna be a tour behind that.
Where are we touring?
UK, Europe, and USA this summer.
That's a big.
It's gonna be tiring, but good. I enjoy touring. So.
What's been your favorite cities, would you say, thus far?
My favorite city so far, fun enough, has been Iceland.
Really?
Yeah. The sun didn't set for 3 days. I was there for 4 days. It didn't set for over. I literally was just like not sleeping.
Oh, that sounds unhealthy.
Yeah, but it was a great time. It was a great time. Yeah, that was probably one of the places. LA's been really like beautiful to me more than more recently. I went to Joshua Tree recently. That was fun. But what to expect? I'm just about to start releasing some music again. I am couple modeling things coming up. Like I've been really, really working actually. Kind of like crazy. So I feel like Q2, 3, and 4 is gonna be like really, really good.
I can feel it in the bones. Where can the people then find you? What is your acts on the Instagrams? In fact, before we even get there, your TikTok. Get back on getting dressed on TikTok because I've told you, I've been telling you this, right?
Facts.
People want to see you get dressed, okay? It's one of the funny. Listen, everybody does get ready with me on TikTok. Trust me, I live on there. Well, you're on TikToks. Your voiceover is entertaining on itself. I can just listen to that in my headphones without cringing because of the fact you're my brother.
It's just funny because I tried to watch it. I tried to watch it without the sound and it wasn't busting. I was like, nah, it's because
you like the sound is why people like it because it's quick, it's funny, it's fun. Anyways, get back on TikTok.
Yeah.
What is the handle? I
really be in my head though. I be like, I think because I see mad people doing it. So I'm like, damn, like, am I?
Firstly, that's ridiculous. There's only one you.
There's only one me.
So that's ridiculous. You should never let that deter you from doing something. And also, as I said, I hate giving you compliments sometimes, you know. There ain't nobody like you. There's nobody like you.
I hate giving compliments. I literally sit here I'm like, I could barely take it. I'm like, I get it if I started doing this. I'd be like, I hate giving compliments. I would be your
baby sister if I didn't hate giving you compliments. Most of the time, you annoy me. Do you know what I mean? But then the other time, you don't. So for the times that you do, you got to give people their flowers. And as I'm saying, there ain't nobody like you. There's no one that makes the get rich. I told you I live on TikTok, yeah? Right. There's nobody that makes especially men, I would say. Men doing get ready with me sometimes is a bit dull.
Yeah.
They're putting the top on, they're putting the trousers on, they're ready to go. You're got a little jazz or fight, little choke. Do you know what I mean? So keep it going, keep pushing at it. What is the handle?
Goya gumbani.
Spell
On everything.
Goya, gumbani, Gumbani.
Yeah.
And I have been your host, Kim. This has been Out of Office with Kim. This has been a Sibling edition. If you want to find us, you can find us at OOWK on Instagram, aka hashtag aka. Let's have a good time. Thank you, people.